Welcome back, everyone, to Celebrity TV. Well, thank you for joining me on another episode. Today, it's a tough subject, but it's something that must be brought up. Now, I have a way with words, so the way I put it together, the way I figured it out, the way I was like, what does make sense? Let's make it make sense. So, today's subject is America is a slave to sin. So, today, subject is a little heavy. It's really, it's a tough subject. What they call it, bite the bullet, bite the nail or whatever. So, it ain't nothing to it but to do it. So, that's what today's topic is. You may not know me, but after today, you will not forget me, okay? So welcome in new subscribers, people that's just watching, and hopefully you click and subscribe as well so you can be, notified when I have new postings and new videos. And let's talk about this because it's serious. So, as a kid, I remember seeing some of the atrocities against colored people or just people in general. And then to think that that was normal, or to think that that was like, how society was going. Then you get older and it's like, okay, these are still the same repetitive actions. And then they telling us this stuff in history books where we're reading about how the Native Americans, which I'm Native American, and to all the Native Americans that are native to America, that were born here, indigenous species of, the America. So it's just a lot. So first, when we was enslaved, I'm gonna start there. That was the first thing I, realized, because growing up, my grandparents, they would tell me stories about being in Arkansas and working in the field and then using things as the outhouse and things like that. So, and then still carrying on those same traditions into the new America, or the new reform way of, I guess, so-called people being free. But the blood that was shed can amount to whatever we would call getting our reparations back. Like, it is, you can't give us what's already ours. You can't give us what we already created. You can't give us what we already invented. So I did my research, and what I found out that the word America has a lot of different terminologies to it, because it was never really at first called America. The first thing that popped out when I pulled up America's original name, Amerigo. America, a Latin version of Amerigo, okay? Then United Colonies was another name, 13 colonies. Turtle Island, then they even called it at one time Parisa, or P-A-R, Paradise. I don't know. But they even have, with the United Colonies, this join or die. I want to show you what it looks like. It's crazy looking. Okay. Let me go to, show you the join or die. That's what it looks like. Crazy, right? The snake, unite or die, join or die. So I guess that's where the don't tread on me comes from. So I love being American. Like, I just don't like the things that's taking place still today. And I don't like the things that's taking place back then. And I don't like the justice that's not being held and people not being held accountable for the wrongdoings and people not allowing it and looking over it. So, oh my goodness, let's go. It's time to go today. We finna go. So we're gonna start right here. The massacres that have happened in the U.S. is ridiculous. One recently, the Uvalde school shooting. That was ridiculous, and that was just a couple of years ago. Like, seriously. Buffalo Massacre. Like, I don't even want, like, it's just so many. Like, I don't even want to start here, but it's just like the information is just so potent that it's like, if we could like count these type, and then this is just stuff that's like national news, you know, making it like worldwide, because it's a massacre, especially when it's more than one person and it's like a slaughter. This is ridiculous. This has to stop. This has to stop. Charleston Church Massacre. I remember that. I remember exactly what, I think that was in Virginia somewhere. That was in 2015. That was ridiculous. Yeah, where was it? Was it in Virginia or one of the Carolinas? It's not saying. It's just saying that. But I do remember this. Charleston, I think that is in Carolina, in South Carolina. It's just so. Another thing I looked up or just came to me in common sense was the holidays. The holidays are actually massacre days. Those are days when it's sacrificial going down. People, I don't know, some type of energy is moving, spirit is moving in. People want to kill, or it's already pre-planned for this type of shooting to go down at this event, or these type of amount of people to get killed over here and this to happen over there. So one thing that I do remember as a kid that was really dear to me, because seeing his body so visually, which is Emmett Till. Now, for that to happen the way that happened, and okay, and when I see, like, the pictures still gory to this day. Like, it is not like, okay, so if it looked like that then that's horrible. And the fact that the mother wanted this, like, I'm happy that she did show it, because that's why you have to, what they say, you live to fight another day, because, and the baby, we learn from those, he didn't do nothing. The little boy was innocent, but he sacrificed, his life got sacrificed because of how people felt, because of his skin tone. So it's just, I'm reading some stuff from Time magazine, I believe, 21 lessons from America's worst moments. And it's not to be like, I just really want to bring more awareness to the sins of America so we could be more united. That is my purpose. I'm not talking about this to be like, oh, no. If we are going to be leaders, we need to lead in the right direction. We need to show that, not by all these rituals, all these sacrifices, all this stuff that don't even really matter when you unite and God gave us the earth to live off of. Like, how are we paying for water? And then I just was cutting up a lime. There was no seeds in my lime. I said, this is getting too far now. Not the limes. Not the limes. So it's a massacre. It's a secret genocide going down in every type of area in life right now. Whether it's, come on now, y'all already know. Because we could continue. That's why more people are striving to be excellent, and they should be. Strive for excellence. No matter who you are, what background you come from, strive for excellence. Excellence in who you are, who you want to be, who you see yourself being, where you want to be. Like, because the way it's set up, the way it's designed, is. So it says that in March 16th, 1968, it was a My Lai massacre. Army soldiers in the Charlie Company killed as many as 567 Vietnamese civilians. So I always felt like, I saw the movie Band Brothers or something like that, or not Band Brothers, I forgot. Okay, I'm gonna get the name, okay, and I'm gonna put it in the comments, because I don't like forgetting it, because some of my favorite actors are in it, like Chadwick Boseman, and then Delroy Lindo, Jonathan Majors is in it. A lot of people are in it. So Blood Brothers, that's the name of the movie, and it's about black men going back to Vietnam. But I always knew that that's why the black people in Vietnam, because I had a lot of Vietnamese friends growing up, especially in Sacramento. So the Vietnamese community, you know, and the black community, mostly for some of what I knew, got along. Like, shared each other's garden fruits and sugar cane or corn or sunflowers. You know, this is what it was. We had oranges, they had what they had. So I grew up next door to Asians my whole life, you know? And Vietnamese, to be for sure, is exact as well. And then even having going to school with them. So it's like the massacres and the tragedies and the atrocities happen to every ethnic group in America. That's what I can say. That's what I can say. Even Latinos get attacked. Like, it's just too much. It's too much. And for us to be here and striving for freedom in a place that we're already supposed to be free, it's gridlocked in, and it's not okay. So somehow we got to break free and break the chains of poverty, the chains of violence, break the chains of ignorance, break the chain of, misunderstandings and prejudgment, because a lot of things are based on people's upbringing. So it's like if we could just be more understanding with one another, we could just heal America as a whole, So, oh yeah, Emmett Till's right there. Yeah, that's his mother. And that was in 1955. Like, okay, not to mention the Willie Lynch letter. Like, if we know that this letter was created to divide us and to conquer us, then why? So, all I know is that seeing even like the Watts riots growing up, LA being burnt down, and then the Detroit riots, hearing about that as a kid, also Rodney King getting beat up. That's what I mean. Like, it would just, then we just had a recent Rodney King, which was George Floyd. But this is like every day, every city, somebody getting stomped out, somebody getting, or entertainer getting killed. Like, this got to come to an end. This is just a ridiculous. Like, it's not even like for real. Like, I'm finna pull the reins on this, because it's not. For me, for my generations, for my bloodline, no, it's not, we won't be around none of that type of violence, none of that type of energy, none of that type of chaos. No, that has no room over here. So the fact that I'm even talking about this is because it's been on my heart. Like, America is just full of sin with poisoning people, with doing the Prio-Igo, when they was doing the syphilis or some type of, they did a syphilis type of, where they was given, okay? So it's like, it's just a lot. It's just a lot. And for a lot of people to condone this and be okay with this, the only thing I could think that would shut everything down is that we overturn everything, we go in business for ourselves, and we become our own leaders. Because obviously, the people that's trying to lead us, they drive in a car on the other side of the road and crash dummies. And that's just what it is. Like, I'm not in a space in my life right now to entertain any type of ignorance, to condone it, or to, because I know better, and that's what they say, when you know better, you do better. So it's like, we have the May 13th, 1985, and everything is in May. May Day this, Memorial Day that. May 13th, 1985, Philadelphia police bomb move. The Philadelphia Police Department dropped a C4 bomb on the home of a MOVE organization, killing 11 people, including 5 children, wiping out half a city block. That's wicked. Like, none of them got a chance to live in their future. None of them. November 3rd, 1979, Greensboro Massacre. 5 people were killed when the Ku Klux Klan and Nazis fired an anti-Klan rally in Greensboro, North Carolina. That's tough. That's a little deep for me. That's too much. Also, June 24th, 1973, Upstairs Lounge Massacre, the largest LGBTQ massacre in history until the Orlando Massacre occurred in the Upstairs Lounge in New Orleans. See, and that's why I ask for God for protection every day, because it's like, I don't ever want to be somewhere when, especially in America, it's sin everywhere, all around the world, but I'm concerned about where I live at and how much sin is just floating around here and being excused. Okay? That's what I'm concerned about. I don't live nowhere else. I know it's sin all over. I know everybody's gonna probably put that in the comments, and thank y'all for commenting, thank y'all for liking, subscribing, and sharing. Because if you feel this way about it, then you need to jump on and say something, and let's collab, let's do something, because we need to build a unit and have unity, because that's the era that I was growing up in, but we were striving for and we were getting to. They tried to dismantle it with the infiltration, with giving people money, because, and saying, well, lead your community in this direction, because that's obviously what it was. Taking the babies, let's talk about that. The medical facilities that do this type of situation and use everything for what they use it for. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't know where, but it don't matter where in the world that we're trying to find that's without sin. You have to try to yourself as an individual lead every day without that type of mind. That's destruction. Being a part of things like that, coming up with things like that, to rule a nation, just to rule. July 11, 1947, Anguilla Prison Massacre. A camp warden and guard shot dead 7 prisoners being held at the Anguilla prison in Georgia. The Anguilla Prison Massacre Quill Project tells that story, drawing on the records from the NAACP. May 30th, 1937, Memorial Day Massacre. The Chicago Police Department shot and killed 10 unarmed demonstrators in Chicago on Memorial Day. We just gonna kill him because we, why not? I'm just feeling like I could just kill him. Even that guy Aubrey, who was in Florida, rest in heaven. From all the blood that was shed, all the families that lost their loved ones. I know I've probably lost love. I know I lost loved ones. I know. And I don't like it. So, yeah, I'm gonna talk about it. Terror attack, December 29th, 1923. Terror attack, that means my great-grandmother was only 10 years old because she was born in 1913. December 29th, 1923, terror attack on African Americans in Ketcha, Arkansas. And this is crazy. I didn't even get to the Arkansas part. So I know my great-grandmother was around when this happened. The Ketcha. Race riot began in Arkansas, leading to the creation of another sundown town. January 1st, 1923, Rosewood Massacre. White supremacists destroyed the black town of Rosewood, Florida, and murdered many of its residents. Descendants have fought for reparations and the recognition of the history. And they are due everybody who has lost anything from an atrocity due to the sins of America. They are due their due diligence. They are due their reparations. They are due that. But God is the ultimate balance of the scales, and so God will make justice prevail. There's no doubt about that. So, May 31st, 1921, Tulsa Massacre. In one of countless, this is crazy. Thank you, Holy Spirit, because my mind was already like, what about the Oklahoma one? Because I have family roots in Oklahoma as well. May 31st. I got cousins. Shout out to my cousins that live in Tulsa. May 31st, 1921, Tulsa Massacre. In one of countless white supremacist massacres in U.S. history, white supremacists destroyed a thriving black community in Oklahoma. Known today as the Tulsa Massacre. So that's when it was called Black Wall Street, I believe, the first Black Wall Street, where it was like a financial district. We had our own banks, our own city, our own grocery stores, our own schools, everything. And it's one part of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and they destroyed it. They burned it down. Like, yeah. And I believe some blood was shed as well. It was not just like, oh, like this, like their town on fire, like what they created on fire. No. November 2nd, 1920, the OC. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's in Florida. OCOEE. OC. That's what it looks like. OC. That's what it looks like. It's some type of Native American name for sure. More than 50 African Americans killed in the OC massacre after going to vote in Florida. Woo! And see, that's why you won't catch me at them voting polls. That's why you won't. And I must say that, nope. I have a right to not vote, and I choose not to because there's no reason to. I'm not with the electoral vote. You know, I'm okay. I already have in my mind what I think is going on, so I'm gonna let live with that. Or not what I think, what I know was going on, so I'm okay with that. November 22nd, 1919, Bogalusa Labor Massacre attack on interracial solidarity. The Bogalusa Labor Massacre was an attack on interracial labor solidarity in Louisiana. Okay, I just got a message and said, how do I feel about Wingstop? What? Wingstop? Lemon pepper. What would Ross say? I'm a boss. Ooh, like a Ross. Lemon pepper, garlic parmesan, honey habanero. Ooh, give me that ranch. I need a large. I'm in charge. I'm gonna tear that Wingstop up tonight. Okay. I'm gonna text back after I finish this. September 30th, 1919, Elaine Massacre. Black farmers were massacred in Elaine, Arkansas for their efforts to fight for better pay and higher cotton prices. A white mob shot at them and the farmers returned fire in self-defense. Estimates range from 100 to 800 killed and 67 survivors were indicted for enticing the violence. Whew, don't be no instigator. July 27, 1919, Red Summer in Chicago. Sparked by a white police officer's refusal to make an arrest in the murder of a black teenager, violence in Chicago lasted almost a week. At least 38 people were killed, and thousands of black homes were looted and damaged during the Red Summer. Ooh, I'd have been scared to be there during that time. I would have been hiding in the basement. Or I would have got out of town. I would have took the next flight, bus, something, Greyhound, train, I'm out of town. July 19, 1919, ooh, 19. That's a powerful number. White mobs in uniform attack African Americans who fought back in Washington, D.C. White mobs, incited by the media, attacked the African American community in Washington, D.C. and African American soldiers returning from World War I. This is one of the many violent events that summer, and it was distinguished by strong and organized black resistance to the white violence. No. January 28, 1918, Porvenir Massacre. 15 Mexican Americans were killed by Texas Rangers during the Porvenir Massacre. See? And these are Mexican Americans. So that's what I'm saying. Like American atrocities, it's an umbrella. Like everybody's underneath there. It's something that happened to every culture. It don't matter. You could be whatever color, whatever ethnicity. In America, you could get got. America gonna get you. Yes, one way, especially if you putting yourself in that type of way or vibing at that type of energy. But really, in America, if they want you, they gonna get you. That's how it is in America. April 20th, 1914, Ludlow Massacre. The National Guard fired. Okay, I'm gonna get to my Wingstop in a minute because I already know what I want. April 20th, 1914, Ludlow Massacre. The National Guard fired on striking miners and their families in Ludlow, Colorado. So basically, it was a black family, and they were miners mining for gold, and they shot at them. July 29th, 1910, Slocum Massacre in Texas. Citizens in a small, predominantly African American town of Slocum, Texas, were massacred. Okay, this is the last. Okay, from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the People's Republic of China, the American genocide of the Indians, historical facts and real evidence. So that's where this information is coming from, okay? Like, the sun is shining so bright. I love it. So let's do it. The term genocide, made from the ancient Greek word genos, race, nation, or tribe, and the Latin seiri, killing, annihilation, was first coined by Raphael Lemkin, a Polish Jewish legal scholar, in his 1944 book Axis Rule, Occupied Europe. It originally means the destruction of a nation or an ethnic group. So the fact that the word evolved and then it had a definition behind it. So in 1946, U.S. Nations General Assembly affirmed genocide as a crime under international law in Resolution 96, which stated that genocide is a denial of the right of an existence of entire human groups, as a homicide is a denial to the right to live of individual human beings, such as denial of the right of existence, shock the conscience of mankind, and is contrary to moral law and the spirit and the aims of the United Nations. This is just on December 9th, 1948, the U.S. General Assembly adopted Resolution 260A, or the Convention, Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, which entered in force January 12, 1951. The resolution noted that at all periods of history, genocide has inflicted great loss on humanity. Article 2 of the Convention clearly defines genocide as if any following acts committed on the intent to destroy, in whole, in part, a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group, such as killing the members of the group, causing serious bodily injury, mental harm to members of the group, deliberately inflicting on the group, for such as conditions calculated to bring about physical destruction or in a whole part, imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group. Wow. Imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group. Forcibly transferring children of the groups to another group, the welfare system, and, genocides. Just like a couple just got caught housing 5 black children in a shed and said that they were going to be their slaves, and actually had those children acting as slaves. The United States ratified the convention in 1988. Genocide is also clearly defined in the U.S. domestic law. The U.S. State Code in Section 1091 of the Title 18 defines genocide as violent attacks with a specific intent to destroy in a whole or part, not a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. A definition similar to the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of the Genocide. So, evidence on the U.S. government's genocide on Indians, or against the Indians, which are the Native Americans. On July 4th, I always say 19, I guess I'm just so used to 19. On July 4th, 1776, the United States of America was founded with the Declaration of Independence, which openly stated that he, the British King, has excited domestic insurrections among us and has endeavored to bring unto the inhabitants our frontiers, the merciless Indian savages, and slandered Native Americans as the merciless Indian savages. The U.S. government and leaders treated Native Americans with a belief in white supremacy, and supremacy set out to annihilate the Indians and attempted to eradicate the race through cultural genocide. So, this is a bit much. Yeah. During the American War of Independence, 1775 through 1783, the Second War of Independence, 1812 to 1815, and the Civil War, 1861 to 1865, the U.S. leaders, eager to transform its plantation economy as an adjunct to European colonialism and to expand their territories, the coveted vast Indian lands, and launched thousands of attacks on Indian tribes, slaughtering Indian chiefs, soldiers, and even civilians, and taking Indian lands for themselves. In 1862, the United States enacted a Homestead Act, which provided that every American citizen above the age of 21 with mere registration of $10 could acquire more than 160 acres, about 64. Could acquire no more than 160, about 64.75 hectares of land in the West. Lured by the land, the white people swarmed into the Indian areas and started a massacre that resulted in the death of thousands of Indians. Leaders of the U.S. government, and at that time, openly claimed that the skin of Indians could be peeled off to make tall boots, and that the Indians must be annihilated or driven to places that no one would go. The Indians would be wiped out swiftly, and that only dead Indians are good Indians. American soldiers saw slaughter of Indians as natural and even honor. American soldiers saw the slaughter of Indians as natural and even honor, and would not rest until they were all killed. Similar hate rhetoric to the atrocities abound and are well documented in many Native American extermination monographs. Bloody massacre and atrocities. Since the colonists set foot in North America, they had systematically and extensively hunted American bison, cutting off the source of food, basic livelihood of the Indians, and causing the death of starvation in large numbers. That's like what's going right now in America. The food is not even right. Like, unless you're rich, you're not eating no good food. Watch the movie Snowpiercer. They had people eating oil. Bug oil. In a gelatin form. Okay, pay attention. Statistic reveals that since independence in 1776, the U.S. government has launched over 1,500 attacks on Indian tribes, slaughtering the Indians, taking their lands, and committing countless crimes. In 1814, the U.S. government decreed that it would award $50 to $100 for each Indian skull surrendered. The American history Frederick Turner, acknowledging the significance of the frontier in American history, released in 1893 that each frontier was won by a series of wars against the Indians. The California Gold Rush also brought about the California Massacre. Peter Brunette, the first governor of California, proposed a war of extermination against Native Americans, triggering rising calls of extermination of Indians in the state. In California in the 1850s and 60s, an Indian skull or scalp was worth $5, while the average daily wage was 25 cents. From 1846 to 1873, the Indian population in California dropped to 30,000 from 150,000. Countless Indians died as a result of atrocities. Some of the major massacres include: in 1811, American troops defeated the famous Indian chief Tecumseh and his army in the Battle of Tippecanoe, burned the Indian capital, Prophetstown, and committed brutal massacres. From November 1813 to January 1814, the U.S. Army launched the Creek War against the Native Americans, also known as Battle of Horseshoe Bend. On March 27, 1814, about 3,000 soldiers attacked the Creek Indians at Horseshoe Bend, Mississippi Territory. Over 800 Creek warriors were slaughtered in the fight, and as a result, military strength of the Creek significantly weakened. Under the Treaty of Fort Jackson, signed August 9th of the same year, the Creek ceded more than 23 million acres of land to the U.S. federal government. So this is what's crazy to me. So people just think like, no, the whole America, the Midwest, Arkansas, Oklahoma, not just the West Coast, the whole America was Native America. All the way to the top of Buffalo, New York, all the way to the tip-top end of Texas, which Texas is a part of Mexico, which is still native, because the Northern America and the Southern America, which was all indigenous brown people, but just people that were melanated, maybe speak different languages, but people that live off the land. So I'm gonna end this right now because I have to get ready, date night, and I'm gonna chill and watch the electoral, not vote, but like whatever it's called, presidential debate. So, because I'm definitely not voting, because it doesn't matter. They already know what they're gonna do. Toodles, everybody. Enjoy your evening. Thank you for tuning in on another episode, Celebrity Harvey TV.